Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about succulents and cacti, my balcony garden, and houseplants in an apartment setting. So if that's something that interests you, please do make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my videos. Today I have a special video for you letting you know what I am seeking and searching for in 2021 as far as plants go, and I've got some really nice ones to share with you, so stay tuned and we'll get to it. Okay, so for this year I decided to make just one list. Last year I did two lists with foliage houseplants and with cactus and succulents, and I did pretty good as far as getting what was on my wish list. But this year I decided I'm just gonna keep it simple and make one list of 10 things that is a combination of cacti and foliage plants. Now, you know me, I am frugal, so well, okay, yes, I'm cheap, all right? All of these plants are probably not the most trending plants right now. I tend to be a year behind in the trending stuff, but they're all beautiful plants that I want and I know are becoming much more available, and the price is coming down, so I'm excited to share them with you. I've got 10 of them, so let's get started. The first one is the Monstera silte Picana, and that one I was inspired by my girl Jacqueline from Jacqueline's Jungle, who happened to find one beautiful bushy one at Lowe's, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, that is such a beautiful plant, and if Lowe's is getting it, you know, it's got to be out there, you know, more commonly available. So I am going to be on the search for that one. It's a beautiful Monstera that can be both, so you can see in the pictures, in a totem pole or in a hanging basket like Jacqueline found. And it's so lush. It has that shimmery silver to the leaves, but with the green veining running through it, and you can just see those crevices there in the texture of the leaves. So this Monstera silte Picana is my first one. Now, inspired by another friend, another plant tuber, my Plomi Sharina, she has an incredible Syngonium Albo, and the Syngonium Albo has made it onto my wish list for 2021. The variegation on this is so striking with that crisp white and that dark green. It can be a climbing plant or a trailing plant, whatever you want to do with it, but it's just so beautiful. I'm starting to get, excuse me, a little bit more into Syngoniums. I have a few of them now. And I was just so inspired by hers. Hers is just gorgeous. So the Syngonium Albo is number 2 on my list. Now, the only one that made it as a kind of a crossover or from my 2020 list that I didn't find in 2020, but I have recently sourced somebody through Facebook out of California that has them for a reasonable price, which is $50, which for this one is reasonable. That's the Cereus Forbesii Cisporalis. And this cacti is such uniqueness in its structure of the twirlingness of it, and sometimes it can change the direction it twirls. It just looks so unique, and it's been very expensive and very elusive here in Arizona. You wouldn't think, because, you know, it's Arizona, you can find cactus anywhere, but I had not been able to find it for less than $100, and I just wasn't willing or really frankly able to pay that much. But a very nice subscriber told me of someone on Facebook that was selling them for $50. So I reached out to them. She said she didn't have them right now, but beginning of the year she would, and she'd contact me. So I am super close to getting this one. And once I get it, if I can take care of it well enough to bloom like this picture here, I mean, look at the bloom on this. It's just absolutely incredible with that pink and white. So I'm really excited that I'm very close to getting the Cereus Forbesii Cisporalis and making my first check on my wish list. Number 4, you know I couldn't go on a list without putting a philodendron on here, right? Philodendron Brandy, or Brandy, I think sometimes it's called. Again, I have something with silvery leaves and green veining through it. This is such a unique climbing plant, and that's really what I want to do with it, is put it maybe on a trellis and let it vine up. But I have seen it more and more on Facebook Marketplace, and the prices seem to be coming down, so I'm hopeful for that one in finding it. And it seems to be a profuse grower. Hopefully I won't have any issues with it, but the Philodendron Brandy is number 4 on my wish list. Now, number 5, I already have its brother right here, the green Philodendron Burl Marks, and he is doing absolutely wonderful. He's just growing like bonkers and loving life here in the plant room. He's even like 9 feet back from the window, but he gets ambient light from the window and the grow lights. But his brother, the variegated version, the Philodendron Burl Marks variegated, is gorgeous. And again, I have something for variegated leaves, I think, but I'd really like to reunite these brothers and put him here in the plant room and enjoy his beautiful variegated leaves. I'm hoping that the local nurseries will get this, or maybe Plant Stand of Arizona will bring this one in, because I see that it's becoming a little bit more readily available. So my hopes are high for getting a Philodendron Burl Marks variegated. Now, number 6, I have been collecting more and more Hoyas. I have been blessed with some wonderful subscribers that have sent me cuttings of Hoyas. You go, you know who you are. And also Plant Stand of Arizona, I've gotten like 4 there too. But the Hoya Obovada is one that is just out of reach for me. I know that some of the local nurseries here have gotten them, but they go so quickly, and I just haven't been able to get there in time to get mine. So I'm going to really keep an eye out for it. But I just love the shape of these leaves. They're so chunky, and they look like you just want to squeeze them. And the splashiness of it, it looks like you just took a brush and just flicked it with white paint on there, and it had all these splattering of white paint on them. So the Hoya Obovada is one that I'd really love to get and maybe put it on a hoop to grow it that way. That would look wonderful and really be a nice addition to my Hoya collection. And this is one that's been readily available, or not readily, but more available as far as Hoyas go, but they just go so fast when they do come into nursery. So I just got to be a little bit quicker. Now, continuing with Hoyas, the Hoya Way Eddy Eye, I love the look of the leaves on this Hoya. Personally, I love eucalyptus, weeping willow type trees, you know, that hang like that. So I think that's why I'm attracted to this one. The look of it, the dangliness of it, the shape of the leaves. Again, it's got some splash to it. And it just looks so full and lush. Now, the blooms on it are gorgeous. You can see in this picture, if I'm lucky enough, which I haven't been yet, none of my Hoyas have bloomed, but if I can get this one to bloom, look at those beautiful pink blooms. That would be just gorgeous. I do know that there's a variegated version of this one that's even more elusive, so I'm going to try and get the green one this year, and maybe next year, 2022, try for the variegated version of this. But the Hoya Way Eddy Eye is one that I would love to add to my Hoya collection and grow it that way. Now, number 8 is another cactus. And this one I have actually seen at Lowe's. I didn't get it because I already had something else in my cart. But the blue torch cactus, as you can see here, I didn't alter these pictures. It's actually blue. I saw it at Lowe's, and it was in an 8-inch container, had 3 stalks in it, and they were selling it for $29, I believe. That was the day that I was buying my Euphorbia Amic variegated. So I had already, you know, spent my budget for that day. So I had to leave him behind, but I know where he's at, and I'm sure that sometime in the beginning of the year, I will go back and get him. The blue torch cactus, and it actually is blue. The one I saw in real life was blue. I mean, nature itself, finding blue flowers is very difficult and very rare, but finding a blue cactus, that's really unique and unusual, and it's really just beautiful. And you can see here in this picture too, the blooms on it are gorgeous. I mean, I could see hummingbirds coming to this bloom, definitely. So the blue torch cactus is number 8 on my wish list. Now, this is the last philodendron on here, this philodendron silver sword. Again, silvery leaves. Do I detect a theme here? But the silvery swords on these are nice and long. I can see why it's called the silver sword, because of the length of those leaves. But I really like that soft green right through the center of the leaf. And this one, I think, as in this picture, would look great as in a trellis growing up. That would look wonderful, because I think it probably tends to be a vining plant. Now this one I think is going to be a little bit harder for me to get, because I've been looking at it on Etsy, and for 2 leaves and a couple of nodes, it's like $100. Not going to happen with me. So I may end up having to wait till more towards the end of the year to get one of those, but that's okay. I am very patient, and I would love to add this to my philodendron collection. So the last one, I have been inspired by Cody from the Plant Channel and Rachel from Heart-Shaped Leaves by begonias, and they each have such an incredible begonia collection. I don't imagine that I would ever get to that level, because I have 2 in my possession right now, but I'm really loving my Begonia maculata Whitey Eye, the cane style begonias. It's actually doing really well with me, which I'm surprised. So I think that type of begonia would do well in my care. So in looking on Pinterest and online and stuff, I came across this guy, the Begonia Tiki Carmen. Hello. A plant named after me, well, not named after me, but has my name. I had to add it to my list. It does look very much like the Whitey Eye, yes, I admit that, but I think it's more burgundy in color and more of the splashiness of the white splashy dots. It is a cane style begonia, so I am, excited about that. It should do well. But the thing is going to be difficult. This may be the hardest one for me to find, because looking online and trying to find it for sale was very difficult. My one source that may come through for me is Steve's Leaves. I'm going to need to keep an eye on his site and see if I can see it on there and maybe get a small one from him. But the Begonia Tiki Carmen, I think, yes, because of the name, but I do believe it's a beautiful begonia. I would love to add it to my very small but growing begonia collection, and hopefully that will round off my wish list for 2021. Now this is my wish list, plants that I am actively looking for. As you know me, I also have this elusive, invisible list that lives in my head that are plants that I didn't know I needed but I want now. And those are plants I come across in my adventures out in, filming and shop with me videos and stuff. And I come across them, I'm like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. I didn't know I wanted you. I didn't know I needed you. Come home with me. So those, I don't know what plants are on that list, but I'm sure that it's a pretty long one. But these are plants that I am actively looking for, okay? Now, I did pretty well in 2020. I marked off a lot of plants. I was surprised with myself because I had 2 lists, succulents, cacti, and foliage plants. So I did pretty well. And if you want to see that video of how well I did, I'm going to put it right up here for you, friends. But before you go to that video, please do make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. Have a blessed day, friends. I'll see you over in that video, and have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.